How do you know when something is done? Is it when it looks good? Is it when you're tired? How do you really know? Artists ask this question all the time. When is an artwork done?
Hi there, I'm Clara Narty. If this is your first time here, I'm a full-time textile artist. And on this channel, I take you behind the scenes of my life as a full-time artist. Welcome to my world of art and textiles. Today I'm very excited. I get to work on an art project. This project that I'm going to be working on, I started it more than a year ago and I didn't finish it. There was something that I thought was missing. I was almost done with it. And then I stopped because I thought it was missing something. And that missing thing never came to me. And so I put it to the side. And now I have figured out what is missing in it. What I decided was missing is something very little, like a very little piece that in comparison to the whole piece is nothing. But without that little piece, I didn't feel that it was complete. And I know that when I add it to it, I'll feel that it's complete. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And I'm excited.
It's been snowing a lot recently. It snowed again last night. Being born in the tropics and having lived there half of my life, and the other half in the US, I'm still not used to the cold winter weather. The snow looks beautiful, but I can't say I like the cold weather. My body is still acclimatizing. I'm finishing an application today. The deadline is at midnight. Even when I'm focused on art making, the other parts of my art practice need to still keep moving. Beware of these scam emails. People often target artists with these kind of emails. One thing about working in a basement studio without windows is that you live in a bubble. I can't see what's happening outside. So it's really nice to come upstairs, stand still, look out of the windows, and see the beauty outdoors, even on a snowy day.
Hi, today I'm going to see about transferring these sketches into thread and somehow. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this. I know how to do this on fabric,
But I want to try a different way of doing it. I want to use threads on water soluble embroidery backing. So I'm going to figure this one out. And then I have to write my newsletter to my subscribers today. So I'm going to work on that. I managed to get 4 sketches done yesterday. I think this one and probably that one are my favorites. And this one has an extra something peeking out from here, which was in the picture that I took. But these 2 are my favorites. Yeah, so that's it. That's the plan. Hey, good morning. This morning I'm going for a studio visit with another artist friend, which is nice. When you work from home, you spend a lot of time at home because your work and your home is in the same location. So it's really nice to get to do a studio visit with a friend. So my friend invited me to come visit with her in her studio today, and I'm looking forward to it. It was a beautiful visit with my friend Helen. Helen makes incredible collages, as you can see here. And when I was there, her friend Barbara had also come to visit. And Barbara had asked Helen a question about how she knows when she's done with a piece of artwork. And I thought it was so amazing that she had asked that question, because that is something that I am currently dealing with. I am working on a piece of artwork that I decided was not complete. So I wanted to hear Helen's thoughts on how does she decide when a collage is complete and ready to move on to the next project. And here's her answer.
So for me, it's about energy. And I feel like there is a jolt that I can literally feel a jolt
That's it.
of energy where I say, that's it.
Yeah.
And in fact, I heard an artist, a famous painter, Elizabeth Murray, who does abstract paintings, talk about how when you put a key in a door and you turn the key and you feel like the ball bearings drop into place, she talks about the cylinder dropping, and that's how she knows. And for me, it is a sensation in the body that there is a kind of jolt that I feel where something, where something is done. And there are plenty of things here that are in process where I haven't yet felt the jolt.
Yes.
And I know I will come back to it.
I have been invited to show my work in a solo exhibition this summer, and I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to share the details with you. I am preparing for the show by curating the show, selecting the artworks that I want to have in the show. The curation involves which pieces do I want to show, and then what statement do I want to make about the works in the show. So I am spending some time figuring that out, writing my exhibition statement, and then when I am done with that, edit that statement, and then I will start to select the artworks. I usually start with a statement because the statement gives me clear path as to what artworks will fit into the statement that I have written. So now I'm selecting the artworks that will match the statement, and I will submit to the exhibition organizers. Today we had a snowstorm, so I'm going to go out and help plow the snow. So much snow. Look at how much snow we got. What is that? Like 23, about 23 inches of snow is how much we're able to dig out. And it's still snowing. There's snow in the forecast. We are expecting more snow. It's a hot chocolate kind of day. It's cold outside. The kind of day where you have a cup of hot chocolate, which I have here, and you sew, which I'm doing right now. I didn't finish my birdie that I traced onto the water soluble fabric. So I'm going to explore how to make that happen. I'm going to do the outlines first, and then I'll see how I could add some more stitches to the body. So that's what I'm going to be working on. Now, let's get back to the question that we started with. How does an artist know when their work is done? For me, I look at my creative process as a dialogue between three groups of, let me say, people. So, a dialogue between three groups. The first group is myself, second group is the artwork, and the third group is the audience, the viewer. So I come to the work with my idea of how I want to create the work. And as I'm working, the work that I'm working on, the piece that I'm working on, also informs me how it wants to exist in the world. So there's a dialogue between what I come to the work with and what the work wants to be. So this constant dialogue between myself and the work keeps going on as I create the work. The work makes demands on me and says, I need to put a piece of red fabric here, or this, do this, or use more stitch here, or this or that. So the work is making demands on me as to what it wants and how it wants to exist in the world. And the third group of people are the audience, the viewers, as I said. And so they also come to the work with their own interpretation of the work. So for me, how I get to know that it's time to stop, that the work is done, is when that chatter between myself and the work ends, when there's silence, when the work becomes quiet, when the work is no longer demanding of me to do something to it, when it stops speaking to me, when it stops saying, change this, add that, remove this, and I look at the work and there's no more chatter, there's silence, then I know the work is done. I'm done. It's time to stop. That's how I know. But it wasn't always like that. When I started, I didn't know how to tell that the work was done. So what I did in the beginning was I had a sort of a rubric. Let's say I use technical values to check the work, to evaluate the work, to see whether the work was done. So I would look at things like focal points, balance, variety, art and design things that are standard. I'll look at all those things in my work and check them and see whether I had all those things going. And if I did, then I would say the work is done. Because at that time, I hadn't developed my inner ear to be able to listen, to be able to hear, and to have that knowing. So if you are struggling to figure out when your work is done, when it's time to stop working, I would say that you should start with things that you can determine. Like I said, I used the standard art and design elements, and I would check to see whether those things were the principles, and check to see whether those things were existent in the work. And if they were, then it's done. But as you keep working, you start to develop this feeling, the sense. And that is how you tell when your work is done. So another way of developing this ability to tell when your work is done is increasing your visual vocabulary. In other words, see a lot of art. Go to art exhibitions, go to openings, go to the museum, go to galleries, look at books. All of that informs you as to what you like in art, what sits well with you. And so when you keep doing that, you keep seeing a lot of art, you develop your own vocabulary. And when you look at your work, when you're creating work, you can tell what you like in the work, what you don't like in the work, and you are able to come to that place where you look at the work and say, I'm done. Thank you for joining me today. If you're a maker or artist or creative of any kind, tell me in the comments how you know when your work is done. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, create something beautiful and share it with somebody.